is the Chief Exec, Andrew Haines. Hello, Mr. Haines. Thanks for joining us on the programme this morning. Another day, another strike. What are you going to do about it?
Well, look, we have put a very good deal on the table. 8% over 2 years, no compulsory redundancy guarantee, additional benefits to staff and their family members. And we think the right thing to do now is to put that to a vote of my staff. And that's the way that this will get called off, because when people see that deal, I believe that they will recognise it's a good deal. And it's also a fair deal because it doesn't ask taxpayers to pay more, and it doesn't ask fare payers, passengers to pay more either.
But it is a real cut, isn't it?
Well, it's not everything everybody would want, of course it's not, but what we've tried to do is be creative. We've looked at the range of things that the RMT have said they're concerned about. So it is 8% over 2 years, and it's got that critical no compulsory redundancy guarantee, so it gives a commitment of jobs to people. And I think job security matters a lot, and it gives discounted travel, which many colleagues of mine in Network Rail have said they've wanted for 20, 30 years. So when you look at it in the round, I think it's a really good deal for them.
You see, it's tricky, isn't it? I mean, you earn an absolute fortune, don't you, compared to a lot of people that work for you, and they'll be standing on that picket line saying it's all right for him, fat cat.
Yeah, well, look, this isn't about my pay, though, is it? This is about the fact that we have a cost of living crisis in this country, but we also have a shift in how people are using the railway. There's a big £2 billion hole because passengers are working from home much more, they're doing less business travel, and we can either bridge that by being more efficient, or we can say taxpayer pay more, or we can say whack up fares. I think we should do the self-help and actually create a more efficient railway, and then we can give job security, then we can give better pay rises in due course, and we can have a thriving railway for the economy of Britain.
Yeah, but you say it's not about your pay, but £600,000 as opposed to somebody getting £25,000. You can see why they might be a little bit upset about that.
I can, but it's not about my pay. But look, I've led from the front. I've taken a significant reduction compared to any of my predecessors, and during the pandemic, I took a voluntary temporary pay cut. So, look, we shouldn't get distracted by that, because if I was paid nothing, it wouldn't change this deal. But I can absolutely demonstrate I'm leading from the front in taking that pain. I'm not asking any of my colleagues to do that. What I'm saying is, let's come up with a fair deal that actually works for people, the people of Britain, as well as my colleagues in Network Rail.
Do you think that trade unions
let's put it to the vote. I mean, why not put it to the vote?
Sure. Do you think that trade unions have too much power?
I think it's really wrong that when we come up with a package like that, we listen to them, we spend months and months talking to them, and we try to deal with all the different issues, that the people within Network Rail then don't get a chance to vote. And that's what I think is fundamentally wrong. When we put a fair deal on the table, surely in a democratic country, people should get the chance to choose whether or not to accept it or not.
So you do think that trade unions have too much power?
Well, yes, in the extent I do, in the extent to which they are able to reject those sort of deals without even consulting my staff. That feels to me to be wrong.
Yesterday we had the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Simon Clarke, on the programme. We were talking about this, and he told me that strikes are a politicised attempt to make capital. Do you agree?
So I didn't quite catch the quote, sorry. Could you say it again?
That's okay, yeah, no, absolutely. It's noisy where you are this morning. It was the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, and that's Simon Clarke. And he said on the programme yesterday that strikes are a politicised attempt to make capital. And I'm asking whether you agree with him, sir.
Look, I think there is a reality of a cost of living crisis in this country. So I'm not saying that there isn't a real need to come up with a fair pay deal. What I would say is the goalposts keep moving, and every time we get to the point of thinking we've reached a settlement or reaching a milestone, the RMT walk away. That is a fact. Twice now we've come very close to making real progress, and then they walk away at the last minute. I'm not going to judge their motives, but I can talk from my experience. We've met a lot of their needs, and yet we don't seem to be making progress. You have to ask them what motivates them.
OK. I did, actually. He was on the programme a little bit earlier on, Mick Lynch. What have you actually offered them?
Yeah. So we've offered 8% over 2 years. We've offered no compulsory redundancy guarantee. We've offered deeply discounted travel for colleagues and their families. We've offered cash bonuses. It's a very comprehensive package. Of course, it's not everything that people would want, but I think when you look at it in the round, it really meets the fundamental needs. And also, by the way, it guarantees no changes to terms and conditions. The RMT have been saying we're looking to rip up people's terms and conditions. That is a lie. We are not making any changes to terms and conditions. We've said we will not ask people to do anything they're not already contracted to do.
Do you think if you weren't negotiating with Mick Lynch, you might have got it over the line by now?
No, Doc, I don't think this is about the personalities. I think it's about the wider dynamics within the RMT.